Hello and welcome to Co-ople Mode, a couple's opinion on gaming. I'm Matt.
I'm Rose.
And we're back from hell, from literally hell, back in the land of the living. How do you feel? You feel ready? You feel prepared?
I don't feel ready this time. I don't know why.
Literally right before we started recording, she's like, I'm scared about what you picked. She's got no idea. I don't know what you're going to play Elden Ring plus all the Dark Souls games. And you got to beat them or we're never moving on. Your own personal hell.
Yeah, maybe it's just the foreboding feeling coming from Hades.
No, I'm not that mean. I'm not that mean. I'm just going to be nice and just give it to you flat out. You are going to be playing the Stanley Parable, specifically the Ultra Deluxe version.
I have no idea what that is.
Yes. You probably seen me play it once in a while. I think we did see a Donkey video where you saw him playing and you were laughing at Donkey playing it. It is essentially a very much a story-based like narrative game. It's very focused on themes of like the choice, what choices you make, and like the relationship between the person who's making the game and the players, and a little bit of fate. Now, I'm going to say this right out front. Right out front. There's a narrator that talks to you in this game. You have to play with the sound
God
on.
Dang it.
You have to. This is the one thing I don't care.
I do listen sometimes.
No.
Yes,
no,
I
no,
do.
no. This is the thing. I'm going to get this off my chest. Out of all the how you play doesn't bother me about like the way you would tackle things, all that stuff. I know sometimes I backseat game a little bit and it's hard because I can't help it. I'm trying to help you, but you playing without sound makes me feel insane. And it was one of the things that
it's important.
It's important this time, so you better play with sound
the text.
or some head. No, the inflection is important. Play with the sound on, please.
I know how to
I'm
read.
begging you. Yeah, I know you know how to read. Gosh darn it.
Really, I mean, there are some games when you don't need the sound.
It is true. You don't always have to have sound.
I have the sound on when I play Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
When it's important, I have it on.
So it's important.
On Hades, it's not important.
I am forewarning you this time. It's important.
Okay.
The game focuses mainly on the silent protagonist that you control, Stanley, or Employee 427.
Okay. He's in the corporate building.
And you're walking around.
Okay, now I remember. I was mixing up things in my head, and I'm like, no, that's not it. That's not it. I was trying to think of which one this was that I saw a Donkey video on.
Yeah, yep. So, and that's what this game is. This game is so story-based. It's all about the choices you make and the reaction you get from the narrator, essentially. And
well, this
what
is
happens.
a change of pace, that's for sure.
Yes, this is definitely from Hades, that high-paced action.
Story games aren't my most favorite.
Yeah, I know. But I wanted to slow things down.
But it's good to try them. Like, they're probably a lot different than what they used to be.
Yeah, this one's very interesting. It's funny. It really is. Like, this thing has made me laugh out loud. I just enjoy this. So, the Stanley Parable, the Ultra Deluxe version, was published and developed by Crows, and was released April 2022. Now, some fun history of the Stanley Parable. It was originally a mod for Half-Life 2, way back in 2011. Like, someone made the mod that worked inside Half-Life 2. So that's how this game originally came about.
Okay, so for people that don't know what you're saying there.
Okay.
It's the base of the game, but with a different skin. Is that what you're saying?
No. Okay. So in this one, basically someone took all the things all the items and stuff in Half-Life 2 and set it up in a way that when you installed this mod into Half-Life 2, you played this game instead. It's like a complete modification of the game.
Okay.
it's like how do I what's a good way to put it?
Like turning the dragons in Skyrim into Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yes, that's a mod. Yes. And mods essentially make changes to the base game to make different and new things. Like people make whole quest lines that are modifications in Skyrim. Skyrim's a big, heavily modded game.
How do you do that? How do you add a whole new quest in a game that's already been made?
You essentially just use the game developer tools. Some people just make tweaks. Some people are just really good at it. Like the really impressive ones can like make whole designs. I don't know how to do it. I know how they do it essentially, but like it takes a lot of skill to do, especially a lot of these really tough ones, you know. There's some that it's like, here, drink a potion, get 1,000,000 experience or something. Like that's just like writing in a cheat essentially, right? But this one...
make those dragons, Thomas the Tank Engines, that whistle instead of roar, that takes some skill.
But Half-Life 2 ran on an engine that was very moddable. Eventually, Steam came out with Gmod, which was essentially like, here's all these tools, here's all these assets, make what you want in there. And that's where games like Prop Hunt came from, where people turn into like... couches and boxes and vending machines and whatever props are in.
Oh, Prop Hunt.
Yes.
I thought you said Paw Hunt.
No, Prop Hunt.
And I was like, kitty paws? What are we?
No.
I had no idea what you're... That's why I looked at you like, I don't know what you're...
Hunt. But yeah, like Gmod was the original one. Or like a lot of the Traitors in Terrorist Town, Murder, like a lot of these fun like game modes that even games like Call of Duty are making standard in their game modes started in Gmod, and like a lot of that started with Half-Life 2 mods.
Okay.
So it was just kind of like a progression thing. The full game remake of the mod, the Stanley Parable, the original one, came out in October 2013. It was only for PC. It got a Metacritic score of 88.
That's pretty high. That's kind of wild.
The main creator...
Because don't you just work like your 9-to-5 boring life-killing job in that game? Isn't that like essentially what you do?
That's the
like we watched
the introduction.
A Donkey video. Like he was just creating chaos because that's what he loves to do. But like, I don't know if that's how you really play the game.
No, essentially, honestly, that's how you really play the game.
So it was made for him.
Yeah. Rendon, who was the original creator of the mod, he did the mod by himself. He also worked on the remake game with another main creator, and they reported it was 100,000 in sales were made in the first 3 days of this actual game being made available. So the mod did so well that they sold 100,000 copies in the first 3 days. And like,
so funny.
He was like, this was like way more money than he was expecting. Aww. And like just the sale from those 3 days would be allows him to live comfortably and become a full-time developer for the next 5 years.
Oh, nice.
But here's the thing. The game has sold over 1 million copies in less than a year. So it sold way more than that. So he's gone on to make some more games himself. A very narrative-based gameplay. Like, he's a very good writer in that way. But also, they were very smart is they made a game demo for this game. Now, this game, you can't just jump in the middle and understand really what's going on because, like, you'll be pretty confused. Mm-hmm. So they literally just made a demo that's its own thing. It's its own story to teach you kind of what to expect when you come into the full game.
Okay.
And I remember playing this because I remember hearing about the mod. And this was back when I first really started having a computer. And I remember downloading this demo and playing it. And that's the reason I wanted to get the full game originally. Mm-hmm. It worked really well in selling the game. And they did this cool thing where they actually, a couple YouTube gaming channels, one of them was the Game Grumps. They actually added specific dialogue for those guys when they played the demo on their channel. So the narrator would actually speak to like Aaron from Game Grumps,
Aww,
you know, like when they were playing,
really cool.
which is just like an extra touch that they could do. And I thought that was very interesting. Then Ultra Deluxe. It's come out for all major consoles. I think, and I already told you when the Ultra Deluxe version came out, but the Metacritic scores, this game has come out for Switch, PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox, right?
Wow.
Well, and PlayStation 4. Like, it came out for everything.
Yeah.
The lowest score is the Nintendo Switch version at 87.
Gosh, Switch people are so funny. But 87 isn't that much lower.
I think just it might have had trouble playing. Maybe there were some hiccups. But the highest is Xbox at 93.
Oh.
So from 87 to 93. So all the things they added in this new game really makes it stand out. And funnily, they said all the extra content that they've added, because it's the original game plus more.
Yeah.
The script for all the extra stuff was way more than the original script. So they've added even more content, more narrator, more everything, right? They sold more than 100,000 within the first 24 hours on Steam. So they sold more in one day than they did in 3 days for the first game. So they did really well, and I'm happy for them. Like, they did a good job.
Yeah.
So Davey Rendon, his full name, the original creator of the mod, he was inspired to create it because he was looking at typical storytelling in video games. And he was interested in what would happen if the player goes against what like the narration says, what the game is kind of telling you to do, right? Because sometimes the game's like, do this, and if you don't do that,
have to do
game
that.
over, right?
Yeah.
So he's like, well, this will be fun. I'll work on this. I'll make this. I kind of want to be a game developer, and I'll go in and do that. And it was honestly a really smart idea. Other people were really interested in it. He said his design document for the game was mess with players' head in every way possible, throwing them off guard, or pretending there's an answer and then whisking it away in front of them. So, like, you never quite know what's going to happen in this game. Like, you can like, oh, okay, this is where the story's taking me, and then sudden left turn. But it all depends on your decisions and what you do.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to read this quote from an interview from Davey Rendon. He said, "Initially, I just wanted to make a game that was something I've never seen before. I love any media that shifts my expectations and surprises me. The Stanley Parable is the kind of game I would want to play. I've loved games all my life, and I always loved narration and story delivery, but I rarely see anything particularly surprising done with it. So I just asked myself what would happen if I threw players up against an unconventional narrator. Really, the seed of the game was just that one question, a desire to know what would happen if you were able to disobey the narrator. And I had no idea, so I just went about making it to find out." And end quote. So I think that's just like fun. It's all about what happens if you disobey the narrator. Like, standing in a waiting room is boring, right?
Yes.
But standing in a waiting room because you're not doing what the narrator says is kind of fun, right? It's like, I'm not doing what you told me to do.
Well, with storyline games, that's usually what gets boring about it. Is it's like, oh, it leads you to what you need to do, and then there's really nothing else you can do except for that thing. So the fact that you can just disobey and be rowdy just for the sake of it, purposefully,
purposely,
that makes me more excited to try it out.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, how far can I push it?
Yeah.
How much can I just be a jerk to this computer that's talking to me, essentially? Yeah. So a fun little note about Davey Rendon is he graduated from college and he left for Australia. Oh my gosh. He wanted to open a video game themed bar. That's what he was planning to do after he graduated. And he was working on making that happen for about a year, but the success of the mod changed his plans.
Oh, wow.
He was receiving offers from other people to work on new games, even job offers from some larger developers that he turned down because he was like, this is not the kind of environment I wanted to be in. This is not the scene. Like, this is not how I wanted to do it. Mm-hmm. So instead, he's like, you know what? I'm going to just get some other programmers together and I'm going to make a full version of my mod, like standalone. And that's going to be the first thing. And kind of the rest is history, right? Like, he made this game that people really, really love. So eventually he starts working with this other individual, William, who had experience creating games in the Source engine. So then he has his main programmer, and they got the same narrator, Brighting, who voiced this narrator. Like, you're going to hear this voice and you can be like, I can understand why people can just listen to this voice. Like, you have to have it right. And Rendon goes on to say, like, he's half the reason this game is successful. Like, that's how much he values this person as the narrator.
Aw.
And another thing that he was very good at is making sure anybody can really play it. He wanted a lot of people to be able to play this game. So after they released it, apparently some people there was a offensive 1950s style instructional like video imagery that was used that some like, this isn't okay. And Rendon was like, we always want to make the game something anyone can play, and I would want everyone to feel comfortable showing this game to people. So we're going to fix it. And like immediately they just took it out.
Wait, what was offensive about it?
I don't know, because by the time I got the full game, that was already gone. So I'm not entirely sure. I thought about digging into it, but I was like, I don't really need to look up something that people are offended
that used to be mad about that they changed.
Yeah. Right. It's like, it's already different. Yeah.
Odd.
Right. Another nice thing they did is when they were working on the Ultra Deluxe version, after if you owned the original Stanley Parable, you got a discount on Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, nice.
So like, hey, here you go.
I like that.
Yeah, and I think that's really nice because, like, yeah, the full original Stanley Parable is in this game, and there's new content. So it's like, hey, you don't need to pay for the Stanley Parable part. You've already got it. Like, and I think like that just. It shows that those developers and the game makers have respect for the people that are buying their product.
Yes.
And like, it just makes me so much more willing to put the money out there for them.
Yeah, that's the funny part. When they treat you like that, you're just like, take my money.
Right? Yeah, shut up and take my money.
Yeah.
The narrator ended up being so popular that he actually... he had a voice pack in the Dota 2 game, so the narrator in that game could be replaced by the narrator from the Stanley Parable. He also appears in some other game compilations. And another interesting thing about the Stanley Parable is the Apple TV Plus show Severance said they were actually inspired by this game about their show. And I know a little bit about the show is about, and I can see it, but I don't want to tell you because I think it'll color how you feel about the game.
Okay.
Yeah. I want you to play the game first. Another one of my favorite things is some of the achievements you can get in the Stanley Parable games. So the original one of the achievements was unachievable. This is impossible to get. Literally, you can't get it. Commitment, play it for the entire duration of a Tuesday. And then go outside. You don't play the Stanley Parable for 5 years. Which actually now, if I re-download the original Stanley Parable and play it, I'll get that achievement.
Oh, there you go.
And a lot of people cheated and just set their computer clocks ahead 5 years.
Sure.
It's been 5 years. I'm going to get it. And it's like, come on, guys. Like, do you really have to
go touch grass?
Yeah, exactly. That's the whole point of the achievement, right? So the Ultra Deluxe version also has commitment. Play it for the entire duration of a Tuesday. Super go outside, don't play for 10 years. And then settings world champion, set all the settings in the main menu sliders to all available numbers. Just mess with the settings and you get an achievement. And it's like just stupid little things, right?
Yeah.
So this game is very much just enjoyable because of how it kind of messes with your expectations, right? Mm-hmm. And I really, as much as I want to like talk about some things that I like about this game and like choices that I made that I thought were interesting, I think we're going to save that for the second half because this game is so much about your first experience that I don't want to color it more than what you've already seen Video Game Donkey do. Which
luckily I don't remember too well.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't want to like jumpstart that memory, and I'm going to leave it at this. So this is going to be my warning. When we come into the second half, we're going to talk about things that happen in the game. It's going to be spoiler heavy. think I'm going to make a TikTok, and if you already saw the TikTok before you came here, I'm going to warn people, anybody who wants to listen to this episode, go try this game ahead of time.
Yeah.
And I want you to experience this firsthand. And I personally can highly suggest this game. It's very interesting, and it's a very easy and chill experience. Like it's not Hades. You're not like, oh my God, I got to jump around. It's not Dark Souls. It's, it's not overthinking things. It's just experiencing the game and making the choices and seeing where that experience leads you. Because there's a lot of different places it can go. A lot. I don't think I've ever had a run where the same thing happens unless I specifically set out to make that happen.
Right.
And occasionally the game won't let me make that happen.
Interesting.
So I'm going to leave it off here. What is your rating right now?
I don't know, like a 6 or 7.
Yeah.
you it was higher, and then you just talked about how slow and mellow you have to be with it, and I'm like, oh, it's going down a little.
Yeah, I want to get excitement from my video games. There is exciting things that do happen, but it's not like
I don't want to fall asleep in the chair, but I'm sure it won't be like that. I just got to try it. I really don't know what to expect. So,
yeah.
Which is kind of exciting.
And that's how I feel like you should go into this game. Go into this game expecting a story game with where you go affects what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to go into that broom closet, you go into that broom closet. You do that. That's you. It's your choice. Make your choices. If you want to ride an elevator all day, ride the elevator. It's up to you, man. Like, make your choices, but you got to live with them. That's that's the whole point.
Sounds too close to real life. I don't like it anymore.
I'm out. So let's head out. Let's get you some experience in this game and get excited for a spoiler-heavy second half. Bye-bye. Hello and welcome back from the endless offices of the Stanley Parable.
Yeah, it's pretty endless.
And we're about to hear some opinions, and I guarantee you they're going to be very opinionated opinions of my wonderful co-host here, Rose. So Rose, after such a long time away, how did you enjoy your extended stay in the offices as employee 427? Oh, and by the way, we will be talking about some of the endings. So if you have not played this game and want to be surprised, there are going to be spoilers. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Can you tell how she feels yet?
It's the same thing over and over again.
Spoiler warning. Spoiler warning.
I just got to say, I know people like this, and I can somewhat appreciate it for what it is. But for me, I don't really consider this a video game. I actually, I don't think this is in the category of a game. Okay. I feel like this is like an avant-garde experience. I'll give it that. But it's not a game because it's not fun and you don't do anything. And you do the same thing over and over and over so much without very little changing from time to time. And it's just not enjoyable. The most enjoyable thing about this game to me is the narrator, but even that gets so old because you're going to listen to him say the same thing so many times. I really don't like this game. I mean, I don't like this experience. So, I don't even want to call it a game. I don't like this experience.
I want to preface anything more we talk about that your experience so far is still within the original Stanley Parable, not the Ultra Deluxe edition. You didn't find any of the new content. Essentially, yeah, that's what it's called.
How do you find the content in this game? Because you can't do anything. You can't interact with your world at all.
Okay.
You just got to replay the same thing a million times to get the different deluxe content. I'm sorry. My time is too valuable to be doing that. All right. Just for me.
Okay, this is what we're going to do because we have differing opinions on this game.
I have a very strong distaste
and
for
that's
this
okay.
Game.
And this is what our little podcast I like is about because I want other other people's input, because I'm not always right for about every game.
I don't think it's about being right or wrong, because I think there's people that are going to really enjoy it,
Yes.
but I think the majority of people won't.
Okay, hold on. I just want to say,
I'm so hot.
yeah, she just finished like refreshing her memory, so she's very burning up right now. So I want you to talk about things you felt and why you felt that way, and I want to kind of do maybe a little bit of a rebuttal so people can get both sides of the story. So we're gonna have kind of a debate day, and we're gonna talk about the different things. So talking about what you said before is you do the same things over and over again. To an extent, you do. Generally speaking, when you play this game, there are left door endings and right door endings, because that is the first big choice. Like, that is where the game branches off at the very base. There's like a couple things you can do before then, but that's
Not
here
really.
and there.
Not consequential.
Well, one of the most amusing endings that you can do is you could have just shut your door to your office.
Okay.
And
That's boring.
It's a boring ending, don't get me wrong. But every door you clicked on, you never clicked on your own door, which I thought was funny. You go out there
because I don't want to do that. Because, like, obviously, I don't want to just close the door to my office and just sit there and it ends.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point of that? I mean, legitimately, what is the point of doing this if you're going to do stuff like that?
If
you're not learning anything, you're not finding anything, you're not experiencing anything. You're literally choosing to experience nothing, and it ends and restarts you, and you got to listen to the same stuff over again. Why would I want to do that? I'm trying to avoid listening to the same stuff over and over. I'm trying to find something different and new.
Yep.
The game's not going to let you do that. You don't get to do that. You have to go through every little stupid thing 4 million times until it decides to throw you, the smallest nugget of something different to make you feel like, ooh, something's going to happen. And then it takes it away. Like, immediately it takes it away, because you can't interact with anything. You can't touch anything. You can't make a choice. There is actually no real choice in this game.
Okay.
Hate it.
There's two things I have to say.
So much dislike.
How you started that is, why would I choose to do that? And that's the thing. It's about the choice. And I told you that before. And this is also the other thing that bothered you.
But it's a false view of a choice. Is kind of my point. It's false views of choices. And the narrator even basically states
they make
that.
meta comments about that in the game.
So
they talk about that.
Why would anyone play this game? You know what I mean?
He literally talked about it in one of the endings you got today. Is your experience about the journey or the destination? Is it about the choice or the lack of choice?
The journey is the same every single time.
There are
very small variations.
Yep,
you're gonna do mostly.
She's so fired up.
No, really. 90% of it is the same experience over and over again. How can it be about the destination when you're redoing the same thing over and over again?
So okay. This is definitely an understandable criticism about this game. Is that a lot of times you have to trek through and make the same choices up to another place. You can make a choice essentially to change what the game does, or to get that new nugget, or to get something new. That can get frustrating after a while, and I understand that. And in my experience playing it, I got to this point where it's like, I kind of just, okay, I know all this part, and I just burn through all those beginning. I don't have to listen to the narrator through it because I know what he's going to say, right?
Yeah,
so I burn
but you can only move so fast.
Yes, and I get that. So I get that you're trekking through
It's not
paths.
like you have different actions you can take.
You
walk at the same speed.
I gotta back up.
You can't jump.
You ran around clicking on everything, and I'm not saying that there aren't a very few things that you can click on and interact with, and I know that's not enough for you, because you really want a more open world choice experience where you can just do whatever you want, but that's not what this game is about.
This isn't a game.
That's not what this experience is about. Is that better?
So how is it an experience when you can't do anything? What are you experiencing? What did you get out of this game?
I thought it was amusing how the narrator would react, whether I listened to him or not. I thought it was funny that the game makes a lot of meta commentary about itself as you go through. And I there's even more that happens. You get to the new content. So essentially what happens is you get a few different endings. You get enough endings. And then one of the doors right before you get to your two-door, left door, right door choice, all of a sudden you get a sign that'll say, new content here. You go through that door. And then it's like a whole nother branching path. And that's where you get to the beach shore that has all the Steam reviews of the game. And those are all real Steam reviews, like good and bad. And they comment on it. And you eventually get into this thing. It's like, okay, this wasn't real enough good content. Let's make more good content. We need an actual real second game. Like it's a lot of commentary on game development and how some games might not give you enough new stuff when you get to the next iteration. It's just a shinier version of what you played before. It really just talks about that.
Okay,
I
but
think in an
that's not
interesting
what
way.
you get out of the game.
I think I enjoy that.
Why? For what? You enjoy seeing the Steam reviews of the game in the game. What?
Yeah, I think that's funny.
For about 2 seconds, you chuckle and then you move on. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that funny. It's humorous. I wouldn't even say it's funny. It's like slightly humorous. Good. I mean, how many times can you be meta over and over again before the joke gets old? You know what I mean? It is funny for a few seconds, and then it's just like, okay, but now what? Like, what else do you have for me here? There's nothing else there.
To me,
I think it's kind of telling that, like, for you, all you can get out of this game is this slightly humorous
That's
narrator.
not all I get.
Well, that's what I asked you, and that's all you said.
I talked about other things I enjoy. What I enjoy the most about this game is that I want to see where my choices take me and what I get, what reactions I get from the narrator on it. So I don't mind burning my way through the choices. Listen, let me finish, to see what new things I can discover, because there is something new at the end of the road at each of these endings.
No, that's not true. A lot of the endings, you end up in the same spot doing the same stuff over and over again.
It's because you kept making the same choices.
No, I didn't.
Nope. I watched you this last time. You made a bunch of the same choices, and I
went 2 different ways. I don't even know what you're talking about. One time I went to the door on the right. The last time I went to the door on the left. Like, I definitely made different choices.
You did make different choices, but you complain about you feel like you're just making the same choices, even though you hit
when you have one door to go through, you can't. I actually don't even know what you're talking about, because I don't have other choices to make. Like, that's my whole point about why this doesn't make any sense to me.
This is the problem, okay? And I when I played this game, and I've had a lot more experience with this game, I learn the different things to look for or different things to try. There's certain things that seem to work more often than not, right?
I don't know.
You don't like this game, so you don't bother to learn that, because all you are is frustrated about the experience you're having.
Oh, but I don't understand, like, what I was supposed to do differently, I guess, or what you can interact with that makes it different. Like, you're being really vague about it.
Because it is vague. Okay, let's just talk about the...
Because to me, I just don't see it.
Let's talk about the main ending. The main ending, you run up to your boss's office, you find a secret door, which leads to a mind control facility, which explains why Stanley liked doing his boring ass job, right? And then you shut it down, you leave. That's like that's the like true ending, right? You listen to the narrator do exactly what he says. When you get to that...
Accomplished that in 5 minutes on my first run, by the way. Beat the game. Done. Over with.
Yeah, that's what's supposed to happen.
Yeah, that's kind of lame.
For a game where you need to experience multiple endings, why would you want that to take a half hour?
Why would you want it to be the first one you get to? I don't know. I just would have done it differently. That's all.
I think okay. I'm not trying to be a
Can
jerk.
you stop yelling?
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be mad. I'm not trying to be a jerk about it. And it's hard because like we do get this sometimes where I have really enjoyed something and she doesn't. And that's okay. And I'm okay with that. That's fine. That's kind of what I want. But I think what happens is it gets hard for me to explain why I enjoyed it when some of those things are why you hated it, right? You can't understand.
Well, yeah, and you're right. That is the whole point of doing this. Like, it is hard to understand that point of view when you take one thing and somebody loves it and somebody absolutely hates it.
Yeah. And that's
I just think the overall idea of this thing is interesting, but I hate the way that it's done. Mm-hmm. Almost completely. Like, the only thing I like is the narrator, and like I said, even that I get really tired of that.
He does
really
get a
quickly.
little pretentious sometimes, and just,
It's not that. It's just you're gonna hear the same dialogue.
Yeah.
You're gonna see the same things over and over and over. And actually, what I thought today when I was playing was like, people rip on games like Call of Duty, like, you're just doing the same thing, just shooting people over and over. How is that fun? That is. I kind of understand their point, but at the same time, like, that is so much more fun and exciting than playing this game. It's wild. It's a huge, massive difference. Like, I actually don't understand why this is enjoyable. And the other thing that we pointed out is, like, you were saying something earlier about how I was feeling was how a lot of people felt.
yes.
That it's really boring and just long and they don't like listening to the dialogue over and over. And I said, yeah, if I want to read a book, I'll go read a book.
Yeah.
I don't want to sit here in this chair and look at this office space, which that's the environment itself just irritates me. Like, I don't like offices. I don't work in an office. I don't want to work in an office. And if I was stuck in one every day, I would not do it.
I'm pretty close to the back rooms office.
Okay. And even just seeing it all the time in a game, it's like, it taints it for me. It's not enjoyable. I don't want to look at this scenery. Yep. There's nothing here to see, and it's just not fun. We can go play Monster Hunter and see like beautiful lands and things. And I'm sitting here looking at an office space.
Yep.
That's actually torture. That's torturous. You know what I mean?
Well, I had to say, and I knew this going in, that this was a hit or miss type game, because almost everybody else who's ever played the Stanley Parable, they either really like it or they really don't like it.
I really don't like it.
And that's the way it is. Like, everybody has different feelings on what games are. I know people that like enjoy the FMV games, which is essentially all it is making choices on a recorded video dialogue thing, and some people would argue that's not a game, but it technically is. But I get what you're saying. Sometimes it's more of an experience.
If the dialogue is interesting, or if it's telling a story that I find interesting, I would be okay with that.
So,
but this is not interesting.
Okay. So if we had a game that you were moving forward and there was a narrator talking about things and explaining things, but it was like a longer form story.
Yeah.
You would enjoy that more.
Oh, probably, definitely. Okay. A longer form story.
That's actually interesting.
I mean, think about what I listen to and what I read.
Yeah, that's true.
I read big, thick books. Like, this is a 10-minute loop that you have me on.
10
this
to like
is
20
like
minutes
a personal
tops.
hell for me. A 10-minute loop setting in an office space. That's so boring to me. It's wild. That's like the worst thing I could think of.
It's like 10-minute TikTok that you have to watch, where the beginning of every TikTok is exactly the same.
And it's in an office.
Yeah, okay. I can see
where
why
nothing exciting
that
or
bothers
interesting
you.
is. Like, there's nothing interesting about that. There's coffee cups everywhere and computers and desks and cubicles. Like, that is the worst.
So can we talk about some moments that you did enjoy? Because I witnessed you enjoy some moments.
I don't even remember them.
Let's talk about you discovering the Stanley Parable adventure line.
Oh, I did like the adventure line because it started going up on the walls and like it went up into a ceiling. That made me chuckle. That was it though. Like it lasts so it's such a short little spark.
It is basically it's a gag for one of the starts where she loses the story. And then the
I didn't
narrator
lose the story. The narrator lost the story. I was doing
okay,
this.
fair enough.
Oh my goodness! I literally go to the place where you make the first choice, and he's like, "Oh wait, something's wrong. I don't know." And then it restarts you. Like it's so. Oh my god! And then you got to do the same thing again. It's horrible.
But the thing is, the run you did before affected the next run, which affected the next run. Which he's like, okay, we're gonna put a line on the ground. Follow the line, and it'll lead us to the story.
And then the line doesn't lead you to anything.
No, the line
just
goes
get
wild.
restarted anyway.
And you get some cool adventure music for a while.
That was the best
Yeah,
part.
look at you, you smirking right now.
The adventure music is very upbeat and, well, adventurous.
Yeah, it's
sounding.
exactly what you would expect.
And you're running through hallways. Well, not running. You're slowly walking through hallways because you can't run. I wish you could run. I would blast through this over and over again if I could run.
And the new content, you can jump.
Cool. Don't
Like
care.
I think
not
like
gonna
25
do it.
times,
No
but
way.
you can jump.
If you've got a limited number of jumps.
Yeah, that's
I think this whole thing is a joke by the creator. It's not actually supposed to be enjoyable at all. And he thinks it's hilarious that anybody does think it's enjoyable. He's like, wow, look at these idiots.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. I just am so angry about it.
Maybe we should have made you play last night and then give you some time to cool off instead of making you play right before we recorded.
I just put off playing it again
Yes.
because I disliked it so much the first time.
Yeah,
And it took
it was-
weeks for me to even want to try again.
Yep.
And I did, and immediately it was like 2 minutes in, and I was like, I'm done with this.
To be fair, we
and
did
the
have a
lo-
hospital visit in the middle of
The
all that.
more I play it, the more frustrated and annoyed I feel. Like
Yep.
it's not enjoyable for me. It's not relaxing. I just don't like it.
Yeah.
And I guess that's okay. And I feel bad because I know some people do. And if you do enjoy it, that's great. But like, it's just
that's right there. That's the key. It didn't it wasn't relaxing for you, but for me,
not. It actually
was,
makes me so upset.
Yeah. See, for me, it's kind of zen because I'm just chilling and
not-
going
oh my
through.
gosh.
Yeah. Like I feel very chill when I play it.
Oh,
And that's, I think, why I get more enjoyment out of it.
Chill. Oh, chill is Slime Rancher.
Yeah,
Slime Rancher.
Slime Rancher is
chill.
very chill.
Slime Rancher is zen. That is peaceful and comforting.
I'm starting to think you're going to start a new Slime Rancher 1 file waiting for the second one to come out at
I
this
can't
point.
wait for Slime Rancher 2.
To be honest, I think I've started about 3 games on Slime Rancher 1, and I've enjoyed it every time.
I've been considering it because I know they're taking their time making Slime Rancher 2.
and I'm okay for that.
But in the meantime, baby, I do just need to restart because that is when I want to just mellow out and relax. I think of that game. Like I really enjoy that for just comforting, relaxing time.
Farm Sim.
This game, no, it stresses me out. I'm pretty sure my blood pressure is up right now.
Yeah, I think it is.
It frustrates me.
Oh,
Running around,
goodness.
clicking on everything, nothing happens. Oh my goodness.
Well, okay.
You can't, and like you had mentioned in the first part too, like we watched Video Game Donkey had a video about this game and like I laughed at that. It was funny, but there were parts when he was kind of being a shit.
Yep.
And I tried to be a little bit of a shit too to make it more fun.
Yeah.
You can't even push that very far though. That's the thing. Like you could sit in a room for 10 minutes and the narrator will just talk at you and get frustrated, but it doesn't actually change or do anything.
I did like the one time you ended up at a phone that was ringing. He's like, pick it up. It's someone you love.
Yeah.
And then you're like, you just unplugged the phone and then
Yes.
the narrator got pissed at you. And I thought that was amusing.
Yeah,
I like that.
That was probably the most amusing thing that I could have done. But that's the limit though. That's like the most I could get out of trying to terrorize the narrator himself.
You didn't even find the bucket.
I don't care. I'm not concerned about a bucket.
There's a
That
bucket
doesn't sound-
in the
it
new
doesn't
content.
sound
It's like
fun.
the assurance bucket. It's supposed to make you feel more comfortable as you go through the game.
Like
and
your
if-
companion cube.
Yeah, like a companion cube essentially, but it changes endings when you go through them again if you go through them with the bucket. And I'm not going to make you play anymore. 'cause
No, you're not. I'm
we
not
know
doing
you're
it.
giving this like a 0 out of 10 and you're never playing it again, and that's fine. And I give it like a solid 7 to 8 out of 10. I think
It does not deserve that. I'm sorry.
you don't have to feel that way.
7 max.
I feel that if this is something you're interested in trying, maybe do a little research on it first before you do it. Though I also think somebody who has never played a game might get enjoyment out of this because it's very easy to play, right?
What?
I mean, you essentially walk around and do.
You want to take a person that's never played a game and give them this to try first? What are you?
Okay, fair point. That might be a
They
little
will
much.
literally. Oh my goodness.
I don't know. People either like it or they don't like it. You never know. Just because you hate it doesn't mean someone else will.
No, but that's such a sad experience for a first time game. You know what I mean? You can't actually do anything.
Oh,
It's not even that thought provoking. I don't know. 2 out of 10. I got to give him props because the narrator can be amusing and it works well. The game works, I guess. So 2 out of 10. I'm never playing it again, though. You
No.
couldn't pay me.
we won't
You could
make
not pay me. I would rather play Dicey Dungeons, and I don't like that game. And that one also makes my blood pressure go up.
Yeah. I think what also makes this particularly hard is how
I
bad.
would rather play Dark Souls.
Okay.
I honestly would.
Yeah.
At least something interesting happens. And I don't. That game is hard.
Maybe Eliza P. Pinocchio Dark Souls.
Sure, I'll try it. I don't care. Anything's better than this. I'm sorry, creator. I like the idea. I do. I think the idea is good. I just hate the way it's done.
I don't think you're going to make the creator feel bad. I think
No,
he
but I
already
don't like
knows
putting
people are
out-
pretty divisive on this game.
It's just that I do want to have respect for people's work and and effort and time that they put into something. And
Yeah.
I don't think it's good to just
Dismiss that.
and talk down about it completely, like, oh, it's not worth anything. I'm not saying that. I just, like I said, as an I wouldn't call this a game. I would call it an experience. It's more like avant-garde art to me. Like, this is a thing you can try and do. And
Yeah.
and in that, if I think about it that way, I'm like, okay, this is a little bit interesting. If I think about it as being a game that you play, I don't understand it. And if I need to do that in my own head to wrap around why this is valuable, I'll do that because somebody did put time and effort into it and loves it very much. Good. People make things and that's good, right? Like you got to appreciate the effort, but
You heard it from Rose first. The Stanley Parable, experience as art, not a game.
yeah, I do think it kind of is. Like
No, I think that's a pretty accurate way to
if you
describe
think about
this.
the ironic, the ironic statement in the game, yeah, as an art piece, I like that. I can get behind that. As a video game, like that's very boring very quickly, and I don't appreciate it as much.
It is not what you look for in a video game at
No,
all. Yeah.
at all. I play a video game to have fun, to do things, to relax, to feel like there's exciting things in a story maybe, or just to feel accomplished at doing something. This gives you none of that, really. I mean, it can't even give you like a full story because you're just restarting all the time. It's like a choose your own adventure book where there's like 3 pages and you're just going to redo it over and over and over again. And no matter what, you can't get a different real ending. Like I just, bleh. Ick.
I want a fulfilling ending. Where's the fulfilling
Well, you want to
ending?
feel like you did something. And I
Yeah.
guess I never felt like I did anything because you have no control and the game just like, it will just restart you at the beginning. You get to a point and it's like, oh, you're done. We're restarting.
Yep.
That's not satisfying to me. at all. That's so frustrating.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
No, I see what you're saying. And like I said, a lot of the things you've said, valid criticisms for the type of people that don't like this. And like, even I, as somebody who enjoys this game, there have been times where I'm like, okay, this is like going on too long. And even the game makes fun of it. Eventually there's a skip button for the narrator. Like, here's a skip button. Press it when I start droning on too much.
Yeah.
And you click it. In that particular ending, every time you click it, the amount of time that goes by exponentially increases. And eventually the narrator, I guess, dies. And then the whole building like crumbles into dust, and like that's an ending. Like, there's a bunch of different things.
So if you want to sit and stare at your computer for 20 minutes and watch that happen, go play this game. I got other things to do.
That's okay. I give this a suggestion. Maybe look into it if as something you might like to try first, then give it a try. Because if this sounds like how do I put this? If you've listened to us talk about this game as much as we have already, and it sounds good, you might like this game. If you've listened to us talk about this game at this point and you're like, no, that sounds horrible, why would anybody play that? Don't play this game. Like,
save yourself the time and
yeah,
money.
like you literally, if you already have listened to us talk and you were like, no, don't even bother looking this up. And I'll be honest, because it won't be for you. But if you're intrigued, look it up and it might be for you. Let's talk about other things we've been doing. What else have you been playing? Because I know the answer to this already, and you get to go first.
Monster Hunter Daybreak.
Yep, Monster Hunter Rise Daybreak has got its claws in us real deep.
Because we're in Master Rank and all the cool stuff is happening now.
Yeah, we're running into Elder Dragons now.
Oh my goodness. All kinds of new exciting monsters that I've never gotten to see before.
Yep.
And cool armors and weapons. And I'm getting stronger and tougher and meaner. I love playing with you because we work so well as a team hunting stuff. I like doing the follower quests. It helped remind me how well you and I work together as a team.
You know, I gotta say this, like a lot of times in Monster Hunter, the armor designs from low rank to high rank are pretty much the same. It's just like the skills and level, defense levels different. And then when you get to master rank, they change the design of the monster. So the Barioth in high rank is going to be different looking than
at least slightly.
Yeah, slightly at least. But I have to say, like, there's been Monster Hunters where I've gotten a master rank version of an armor set I like, and I'm like, I don't think it looks as good as the high rank. And in this game so far, every single master rank version I have felt
really good.
Has been like an upgrade and just looks so sick and badass, and I love it. And I really like Gore Magala. I enjoyed seeing him again from I think Monster Hunter Ultimate 4, and his armor set is so good. So cool.
And the Palico set for him is so cute. You look like a little Grim Reaper kind of.
Yeah, a little right.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, you're right.
I think it's pronounced white. WIGHT. But yeah, like you're just. I'm pretty sure. She's gonna look it up right now. Hold on.
I'm pretty sure you are right.
Yes.
There is both words are a thing, but you were thinking of the correct one.
You want to know why I remembered that?
Yeah.
Dragon Quest. I think it is 10 for the DS. It's like Sentinels of a Starry Skies. If you like Dragon Quest, great Dragon Quest. There is a first boss you get called the White Knight, but it's an undead knight all wearing all black because they like to do little play on words for their monsters. Yeah. And I thought that was like, I'm like, okay, this is good. I like this one, Dragon Quest. This is good. But yeah, so mainly just Monster Hunter. I don't think you played anything else, right?
No.
Yeah, other than Stanley Parable twice. I have been dipping my toes into Liza P, the Pinocchio Soulsborne game, which has been pretty good. I've actually really enjoyed it so far. I think I'm just like, I'm not anywhere far enough to have the full experience yet, so I'm just enjoying that. And I've also dipped my toes into Payday 3, which I know had some server trouble when they started up. Apparently the people they went through to operate their servers were not prepared for how many people wanted to play the game. And I think there also is some trouble because even if you play by yourself, you have to play online. And that never really goes over well with gamers generally. But I think they're going to make an update to change that in the future here. So, but if you like the Payday franchise at all, like it's all that good bank heist robbery stuff, which is a lot of fun. It can turn very chaotic very quickly, but you know what? Sometimes that's half the fun. I don't think I've really been touching anything else too much. Anything else you want to add or talk about?
No.
I
don't even have a joke for today. Like it's so.
That's the meta joke. No joke.
Yeah. I got so wound up. I can't even give you a bad joke today.
Okay. Well, I want to thank Brother Ray for our caricatures.
Stanley Parables is the joke today.
Again, thank you, Brother Ray, for the caricatures. I appreciate them. I want to thank you, our listeners. And I'm sorry because
I know you like this game.
It's okay. That's part, like, I know we got a little argumentative instead of debative a couple times, but again, that's why I like doing this because
it's the spice of life.
Yeah, we don't always agree. And at the end of the day, who cares? Like, I'm not going to like be hounding you about it for the rest of your life.
Yeah,
it's fine.
I'm not going to hound you about it.
Yeah, exactly. You're probably going to make some jokes on it for like the next like 10 episodes to
I don't
pick
think
on
so.
me.
Don't want to care
don't
even
you
that
wanna
much.
Think about it?
Yeah.
Again, thank you, our listeners. Sorry about
the delay.
Yeah, but it was a very good reason, and Rose is feeling a lot better now, which is good. We're doing good. Everything's great. Yeah. Well, thank you for listening to Co-ople Mode. I'm Matt.
I'm Rose.
And you keep gaming with your bestie. Ta-ta!